Okay, today's lesson is going to be about rectangles, squares, and rhombus. So this is going to go on page 97 of your interactive notebook. Rectangles, squares, and rhombus. Okay, we're going to start off with our definition of a rectangle. You should be familiar with a rectangle. Rectangle is one of the most basic shapes that we work with, but by definition, a rectangle is a quadrilateral with 4 right angles. A quadrilateral with 4 right angles. Okay, if we draw that out, the only requirement is that all 4 angles would have to be right angles. Our next shape is a square. And in a square, it's a quadrilateral with 4 right angles. That is exactly the same as a rectangle. They both have part of the same definition. But with a square, we're going to add, and it has to have 4 congruent sides. 4 congruent sides. So it has the same definition as a rectangle, which makes a square a rectangle because they do have the same definition partially, but we're also adding another restriction on it that it's going to be 4 congruent sides. So if we draw that out, not only do we have to have the 4 right angles like the rectangle, but now we have to have 4 congruent sides, and that's what I'm marking now with the little tick marks. Then we have our rhombus. And it's a quadrilateral with 4 congruent sides. Okay, so that shows up in the square too. That's the other restriction, was 4 congruent sides. But this one is just it has to have 4 congruent sides. So a lot of you have described a rhombus to me before, and you told me it's a square that's kind of been pushed over. So here's our rhombus. I don't have the right angle symbols in there because it's not a right figure. I just have the condition that it has the 4 congruent sides. So really and truly, the square in the middle is a composition of both the rectangle and the rhombus. Okay, these are the definitions of our figures, our quadrilaterals. Now in the next video, we're going to go over our properties.